Don't come any closer. The man's voice cracked like breaking glass. I'll tell everyone what you did. That's when I heard the gunshot. December frost in Boston makes everything sharper. The edges of buildings, the sound of footsteps, the moment you realize you just watched someone die. I was taking a shortcut through the alley behind Donnelly's bar because my shift ended at midnight and I was already running late. $847 in tips, enough to finally pay the electric bill that was 3 weeks overdue. I froze behind the dumpster, phone clutched in my trembling hand. The victim collapsed onto the frozen pavement. Blood spread beneath him, black in the dim light. The killer stood over the body, gun still raised, expensive Italian shoes reflecting the neon sign from the bar. He turned slowly, scanning the alley. That's when our eyes met. I ran. Heels scraping against ice, lungs burning, purse banging against my ribs. Behind me, I heard footsteps. Calm. Steady. Not rushing. Like he had all the time in the world to catch me. If you've ever witnessed something you shouldn't have, drop a like right now. Comment your city because what this contract killer does next will rewrite everything you thought you knew about protection. I made it 3 blocks before my heel snapped. The pavement came up fast. My palms hit concrete, ripping skin. My phone skittered into a storm drain. Gone. I scrambled to my feet, barefoot now, the December cold biting through my torn stockings. The footsteps behind me stopped. I turned. He stood under a streetlight 20 feet away. Tall, maybe 6'2", dark hair, darker eyes. Black coat that probably cost more than my car. He wasn't even breathing hard. Please, I whispered. I didn't see anything. I swear I didn't see your face. He tilted his head slightly, studying me like I was a problem he was trying to solve. You're lying. His voice was quiet, accent rolling underneath the English. Italian, maybe. You saw everything, Isla. My blood turned to ice. How do you know my name? He pulled out his phone, showed me the screen. My driver's license. My address. My work schedule at the diner. My sister's name, Bailey. My mother's nursing home in Quincy. I know everything about you, he said calmly. The question is, what do I do about it? You have 2 choices. He stepped closer. I backed against a brick wall. Trapped. Choice 1, you run. You go to the police, tell them what you saw. They put you in witness protection, maybe. You disappear, leave your family, your life, everything. And eventually, the people I work for find you anyway. His eyes never left mine. Cold. Clinical. Like he'd had this conversation before. Or choice 2. My voice shook. You come with me. Right now. You stay under my protection. You don't talk to police, don't talk to anyone about what you saw. You become invisible in a different way. Why would you protect me? I asked. You just killed someone. Because you're a witness, he said simply. Dead witnesses create investigations. Living witnesses under control create nothing. You're more valuable to me alive. He held out his hand. Dante Moretti. And you have 30 seconds to decide before my employer sends someone less reasonable than me. I looked at his hand. Clean. No blood. Steady. I thought about Bailey, about Mom's medical bills, about the police who'd never believed me when I reported my ex Blake 2 years ago. I took his hand. Dante's car was a black Maserati that purred like a predator. Leather interior. Heated seats that made my frozen feet tingle painfully as feeling returned. He drove with one hand, completely calm, like he hadn't just murdered someone and kidnapped a witness. Where are we going? I asked. Safe house. North End. You'll stay there until we figure out our next move. Our next move. He glanced at me. You're under my protection now. That means what happens to you is my responsibility. I don't take responsibilities lightly, Isla. I stared out the window, watching Boston blur past. We drove through Beacon Hill, past brownstones that cost millions. Places I'd only seen while serving breakfast to tourists. The man you killed, I started. Don't ask me about my work. Was he? I said don't ask. His voice didn't rise, but something in it made me stop talking immediately. We pulled up to a building in the North End. Luxury apartments. Doorman. The kind of place where my entire year's salary wouldn't cover 1 month's rent. Dante handed his keys to the valet. Come. Not a request. A command. I followed. The safe house wasn't a house. It was a penthouse. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the harbor. Marble floors. Art that looked expensive enough to be in museums. Everything white and chrome and untouchable. Bedrooms through there. Dante pointed. Bathroom has everything you need. Don't leave without telling me. Don't call anyone. Don't go near the windows. For how long? Until it's safe. When will that be? He removed his coat, hung it carefully. Underneath, he wore a black shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows. I saw tattoos. Italian words running up his forearms. When I say it is. I have work tomorrow. My shift starts at 6. You don't work there anymore. My stomach dropped. Excuse me. You can't go back to your old life. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The people who ordered that hit will be looking for witnesses. If they find you, they won't be as merciful as me. Merciful? I laughed, sharp and bitter. You kidnapped me. I saved you, he corrected. There's a difference. Would you accept protection from a contract killer if it meant surviving? Comment save me or trap because what happens next will test everything. I didn't sleep. Just sat on the bed, king-sized, softer than anything I'd ever touched, and watched the city lights reflect off the harbor. My feet still ached from running. My palms were scraped raw. At 3:47 in the morning, I heard movement in the kitchen. I crept to the doorway. Dante stood at the stove, cooking something that smelled like home despite everything. He'd changed into grey sweatpants and a white t-shirt. Less threatening. Almost human. Can't sleep? He asked without turning around. Would you? Fair point. He plated pasta, set it on the counter. Eat. You're shaking. I'm not hungry. You're in shock. Eat anyway. I Saturday. Took a bite. It was perfect. Carbonara, real carbonara, not the cream sauce version diners served. You cook. My grandmother insisted. She said a man who can't feed himself is already controlled by someone else. The same logic from the other story, but it felt real here too. I ate slowly, watching him. What happens tomorrow? We wait. My employer will investigate. If there are other witnesses, we'll know. If not, you become less of a risk. And then? Then we see. Morning came grey and cold. I woke to find Dante on his phone, speaking rapid Italian. His voice was sharp, angry. I caught one word, testimone. Witness. He saw me and switched to English. Understand. Handle it. He ended the call. Problem? I asked. Your ex-boyfriend Blake filed a missing person report. Says you never came home last night. Police are asking questions at the diner. My chest tightened. Blake doesn't care about me. We broke up 2 years ago. Then why is he looking for you? I thought about Blake's fists. The hospital visit I lied about. The restraining order that expired 6 months ago because I couldn't afford to renew it. Control. He doesn't want me, but he doesn't want anyone else to have me either. Dante's expression darkened. Does he hurt you? Used to. Not anymore. I'm smarter now. Not smart enough to avoid murder scenes. Despite everything, I almost smiled. Fair. He made coffee, strong and black. Blake's a problem. If police connect you to him and last night, they'll investigate. Investigation means attention. Attention means danger. So what do? We make Blake go away. I'm not killing your ex-boyfriend, Dante said flatly. Despite what you saw last night, I don't kill without reason. Then what? He pulled out his phone, showed me photos. Blake outside my old apartment. Blake at the diner. Blake with another woman, kissing her outside a bar. Timestamp. 3 days ago. How did you get these? I have resources. Blake has a new girlfriend, Sienna. Works at a bank downtown. They've been together 4 months. Then why is he looking for me? Dante zoomed in on another photo. Blake handing cash to someone outside a pawn shop. Because he owes money to people who don't accept excuses. He thinks you'll help him. I have nothing. He doesn't know that. Men like Blake think women owe them salvation. Dante's voice went cold. We're going to convince him you're more trouble than you're worth. That afternoon, Dante took me shopping. Not thrift stores where I usually went, but boutiques on Newbury Street. He handed his credit card to sales associates like money was imaginary. Dresses, coats, boots that cost $600. Why? I asked. Because you're under my protection. That means you look like it. Dante took me to dinner at a restaurant I'd only read about in magazines. The kind where reservations took months and entries cost more than my weekly paycheck. We sat at a corner table, me in a black dress that fit like it was designed for my body, him in a suit that made him look dangerous and expensive. Blake will hear about this, Dante said quietly. Boston's smaller than people think. Someone will see us, tell someone who knows him. He'll know you've moved on. Moved up. And that makes him go away. No, but it makes him cautious. Dante cut his steak with surgical precision. Men like Blake prey on weakness. When you look weak, isolated, scared, they attack. When you look protected, powerful, connected to someone more dangerous than them, they hesitate. Are you more dangerous than Blake? He looked at me, and I saw the killer from the alley. Cold. Certain. Infinitely. After dinner, we walked along the waterfront. December wind cut through my new coat. Dante stayed close, his presence a wall between me and the world. Thank you, I said quietly. For what? Not killing me in that alley. He smiled slightly. The night's still young. I broke Dante's first rule on day 4. I called my best friend Ruby. She answered on the first ring. Oh my God, Isla. Where are you? Blake's been calling me, the police came to my apartment, everyone's freaking out. I'm safe. I just needed some space. Space. You disappeared. Your phone's off, you didn't show up to work, nobody knows where you are. I could hear the panic in her voice. Real worry. Ruby and I had been friends since high school. She knew about Blake, about my mom, about everything. I met someone, I said carefully. I'm staying with him for a while. Him. Isla, you don't just move in with random guys. That's not safe. His not random. His, protective. Ruby went quiet. Does Blake know? Not yet. Good. Keep it that way. Blake came by my place yesterday, asking if I knew where you were. He looked bad, Isla. Desperate. Said he needed to talk to you about something important. My stomach turned. What did you tell him? Nothing. I swear. But what? He offered me money. A lot. $1,200 if I could find you. I ended the call shaking. Dante found me on the balcony, staring at the harbor. You called someone. Not a question. How did you know? He held up his phone. Your call went through my system. I monitor everything in this apartment. You're spying on me. I'm protecting you. There's a difference. He moved beside me. Who did you call? My friend Ruby. She said Blake offered her money to find me. How much? $1,200. Dante's jaw tightened. Did she take it? She said no. Do you believe her? I thought about Ruby. Single mom. 2 kids. Working 3 jobs. Eviction notice on her fridge last time I visited. I want to. Want and trust are different things, Isla. That night, Dante's phone buzzed. He read the message and his expression turned to stone. Blake knows you're in the North End. Someone saw us at the restaurant. He's offering $2,500 now for your exact location. Ruby wouldn't. Money makes people do things they regret. He showed me his phone. Security footage. Ruby outside the building, talking to a man I didn't recognize. Money changing hands. My best friend sold me for $2,500. I want to talk to her, I said. No, Dante, she's my best friend. Maybe there's an explanation. The explanation is she chose money over loyalty. That's all you need to know. But I couldn't let it go. 2 days later, when Dante left for a meeting, I took the elevator down. The doorman tried to stop me. Dante had clearly given instructions, but I slipped past. I found Ruby at the coffee shop where we used to meet every Sunday. She saw me and her face went white. Isla. How much did he pay you? My voice was cold. Unfamiliar. It's not what you think. Then explain. She pulled out her phone, showed me messages from Blake. Threats. Photos of her kid's school. Her apartment. He said if I didn't help him find you, he'd hurt my family. I didn't have a choice. You always have a choice. Easy for you to say. You're living in some penthouse with a rich guy. I'm 3 weeks from homelessness. She grabbed my hand. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I need that money. And Blake said he just wants to talk to you. Blake doesn't just talk. Then what was I supposed to do? Dante found me within 20 minutes. He walked into the coffee shop, and Ruby actually gasped. Up close, his danger was impossible to miss. Outside. Now. He said it to me, but his eyes stayed on Ruby. We'll discuss later. Ruby looked like she might faint. I followed him to the Maserati. He didn't speak until we were back at the penthouse. Then he turned to me, and I saw real anger for the first time. You left without telling me. You exposed yourself. You met with the person who sold your location. She's my friend. She betrayed you for money. That's not friendship. He paced, controlled fury in every movement. Do you understand what you've done? Blake knows you're alive. He knows you're in the North End. He knows you're with someone with resources. That makes you a target and a liability. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't stop bullets, Isla. He pulled out his phone, made a call in Italian. Fast. Clipped. When he hung up, he looked at me with something like disappointment. Pack a bag. We're leaving. Where? Somewhere Blake and Ruby and everyone else can't find you. Would you forgive a friend who betrayed you under threat? Comment forgive or cut off. Hit subscribe because what Dante does next changes everything. We drove 2 hours north to New Hampshire. A lake house hidden in the woods, completely isolated. No neighbors. No cell service. Just snow and silence and Dante. The house was smaller than the penthouse but still expensive. Rustic luxury. Stone fireplace, leather furniture, windows overlooking frozen water. How long do we stay here? I asked. Until Blake is handled. Handled how? Dante started a fire. You don't need details. If you're going to hurt him because of me, I deserve to know. He looked at me, flames reflecting in his dark eyes. I'm going to make him understand that pursuing you will cost more than he's willing to pay. That's all you need to know. That night, snow fell heavy and silent. We sat by the fire, Dante reading something on his phone, me watching him. He looked different here. Less like a killer, more like a man who was tired of being one. Why do you do it? I asked. Kill people for money. Family business. My father, his father, back 3 generations. In my world, you're born into your role. You don't choose it. You could leave. Could I? He met my eyes. You think I can just walk away? Retire? Men like me don't get retirement parties, Isla. We get buried or we get powerful enough that nobody tries to bury us. Days in the lake house blurred together. Dante taught me to cook real Italian food, not the Americanized versions, but recipes his grandmother had passed down. We talked about everything except murder and Blake. I learned he spoke 4 languages. That he'd studied architecture in Rome before his father died and he had to take over the family business. That his favorite color was blue because it reminded him of the Mediterranean. "Tell me about your family," he said one night. So I did. About my dad leaving when I was 8. Mom's early onset dementia. Bailey, my sister, who married young to escape our broken home. The student loans I took for nursing school before dropping out to work full-time when Mom got sick. You wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to help people. Ironic, right? Now I'm hiding with a contract killer. You're surviving. That's its own kind of helping yourself. Something shifted between us that night. Dante reached across the couch, tucked my hair behind my ear. His touch was surprisingly gentle. "This is dangerous," I whispered. "I'm a dangerous man, Isla. Everything about me is a risk. I mean this. Us. Whatever this is becoming." He pulled back slightly. "You're right. You're under my protection. I shouldn't." I kissed him. Dante kissed me back with an intensity that stole my breath. Then he pulled away, jaw tight. "We can't." "Why not?" "Because you're vulnerable. You're here because you have no choice, and I'm the one who took your choice away. That's not consent, Isla. That's coercion. You think I'm kissing you because I'm grateful? Or scared? I think you're confused. Trauma bonding is real. What you feel right now might not be what you feel when you're safe and free and away from all this." I stood up, frustrated. "Don't tell me what I feel. Then tell me, do you want me, or do you want the protection I provide?" I looked at him. Really looked. At the man who'd saved me, controlled me, cooked for me, taught me. The killer with gentle hands and grandmother's recipes. Both. I want both. That's not enough. Why not? Because one day you'll realize you only needed one, and I'll be the monster who kept you in a cage you mistook for safety. He left the room. I heard his bedroom door close. I sat by the dying fire and cried for reasons I couldn't name. 3 days later, Dante's phone rang. He answered in Italian, listened, then his expression went cold. "What?" I asked when he hung up. "Blake went to the police. Filed a report claiming I kidnapped you." My stomach dropped. "How does he know about you?" Ruby gave him my name. He did research. Found out who I am, what I do. He's using the legal system as a weapon. What happens now? Now it gets complicated. Dante paced. "If police investigate, they'll find the safe house. Find you. You'll have to explain why you're here. If you tell the truth about the alley, you're a witness to murder. If you lie, you're aiding a criminal. Either way, you're exposed. Can't you just make Blake go away? Like you made that other man go away. You want me to kill your ex-boyfriend?" I thought about Blake's fists. His threats. The way he'd hunted me even after I left. Would it make this stop? Dante stopped pacing. Looked at me with something like respect. "Yes. But it would also make you complicit. Right now, you're a victim. I'm protecting you. If I kill Blake because you asked me to, you become an accessory. Is that who you want to be?" I didn't answer Dante's question. Couldn't. That night, I couldn't sleep. Found him outside on the deck, breath fogging in the February cold. He was smoking. First time I'd seen him with a cigarette. "Bad habit," I said. "I have many." He offered me one. I took it, even though I'd never smoked before. We stood in silence, destroying our lungs together. "I don't want you to kill Blake," I finally said. "Not because I care about him, but because you're right. I don't want to be that person." Then we do this the hard way. Which is? We make you disappear properly. New identity, new city, new life. I have people who can arrange it. You become someone Blake can never find. And you? I stay here. Do my job. Forget I ever met you. Something in my chest cracked. Is that what you want? He looked at me. What I want doesn't matter. What's safe for you matters. What if I don't want safe? What if I want this? I gestured between us. Whatever this is, I want to try. Isla. I'm not confused. I'm not traumatized into affection. I'm a grown woman making a choice. I choose you. He dropped his cigarette, crushed it under his boot. You're choosing a killer. I'm choosing the man who cooks me dinner and teaches me Italian and looks at me like I'm worth protecting. He kissed me then. Desperate, honest, real. Morning brought clarity and strategy. Dante made calls in Italian, pacing while he spoke. When he finished, he sat across from me at the kitchen table. Here's what we do. You go to the police voluntarily. Tell them Blake is harassing you, that you left Boston to escape him. Show them the old restraining order. Tell them you've been staying with a friend in New Hampshire, that you're safe and Blake is lying about kidnapping. Will they believe me? You're believable. Scared woman escaping abusive ex. They see it every day. The key is you go to them before they find you. That makes you cooperative, not suspicious. What about the murder? The alley? You never mention it. You weren't there. You left work, came straight here. No witnesses, no evidence connects you to that scene. What if Blake tells them I was there? How would Blake know where you were that night? He wasn't there. He has no proof. It's his word against yours, and you're the one with documented history of his abuse. It was a good plan. Smart. But it meant lying to police about a murder. I'm already in too deep, aren't I? I said quietly, yes, but we can still get you to the other side of this. Dante drove me to the police station in Portsmouth. Small town, local cops who'd process my statement and forward it to Boston PD. I'll wait here, he said. Don't mention me by name. Just say a friend. They don't need details. I walked in alone. Officer Reynolds took my statement. Kind woman, maybe 50, who listened carefully while I explained. Blake's abuse, the expired restraining order, my decision to leave Boston for safety, his harassment of my friends trying to find me. Where have you been staying? She asked. With a friend. In the woods. I just needed space. This friend have a name? I'd rather not say. They value their privacy, and I don't want Blake harassing them too. She nodded, understanding. Blake Morrison filed a missing person report claiming someone named Dante Moretti kidnapped you. Do you know this person? My heart hammered. I've heard the name. Blake must have found it somehow, trying to justify his obsession. I've never met anyone named Dante Moretti. The lie came easily. Too easily. Reynolds made notes. We'll contact Boston PD, let them know you're safe and Blake's claims are unfounded. You're free to go. I walked out, knees shaking. Dante was waiting. How'd it go? I lied to police about murder and kidnapping. How do you think it went? We drove back to the lake house in silence. I felt wrong. Dirty. Like I'd crossed a line I couldn't uncross. You did the right thing, Dante said. Did I? I just became an accomplice. You became a survivor. There's a difference. Back at the house, I showered, trying to wash away the guilt. When I came out, Dante was on the phone again. His face was grim. What now? I asked. Blake's not backing down. The police called him, told him you're safe and his claims are false. He's threatening to hire a private investigator. Let him. He won't find anything. He'll find Ruby. She'll tell him about the North End penthouse. If he goes there with a PI, they might find surveillance footage from the building, from the restaurant. Footage of us together. So it proves you lied. You said you've been in New Hampshire the whole time. But footage will show you in Boston with me. That's perjury, Isla. The walls felt like they were closing in. What do I do? We handle Blake. Permanently this time. You mean? I mean we make him an offer he can't refuse. Money, threats, whatever it takes to make him stop. No killing. But we end this now. Dante arranged a meeting. Neutral location. A bar in South Boston. He brought 2 men, his associates, both dangerous looking. Blake brought nobody. I watched from Dante's car across the street. Dante had forbidden me from attending, but I'd insisted on being close. Through the window, I saw them sit. Dante slid an envelope across the table. Blake opened it, and even from here I saw his eyes widen. Money. A lot. They talked for 10 minutes. Blake looked scared. Kept glancing at Dante's associates. Finally, he nodded. Shook Dante's hand. Left. Dante returned to the car. It's done. What did you offer him? $25,000 to leave the state. Drop all claims, stop investigating, forget your name. Plus a reminder of what happens if he doesn't comply. The reminder being details of his gambling debts. The people he owes money to. I told him I could make those debts disappear, or I could make sure his creditors know exactly where to find him. His choice. That's extortion. That's protection. Blake took the money and promised to be in Florida by Friday. She helped a killer extort her ex with threats and cash. Is that justice or just becoming the monster? Comment justice or monster. Subscribe because the final twist will blow your mind. Blake left Boston 3 days later. Dante's people confirmed it. One-way ticket to Tampa, new apartment rented, no return plans. I should have felt relieved. Free. But instead I felt hollow. What happens now? I asked Dante. We were back in the North End penthouse. The lake house felt like a dream, something that happened to different people. Now you decide what you want. Your old life is still there. Job at the diner, your apartment, your friends. Blake's gone. You're safe. Or you stay. With me. Build something new. I walked to the window, looked out at Boston Harbor. The city that had broken me and saved me in the same breath. If I stay, what does that mean? I become your, what? Girlfriend. Accomplice. Prisoner in a nice cage. Dante came up behind me. Didn't touch me, just stood close. It means you're choosing this life with full knowledge of what it is. I can't promise normal. I can't promise safe, not completely. But I can promise honest. No more lies between us. No more pretending I'm anything other than what I am. A killer. Yes. And I'm okay with that. Are you? I thought about everything. The alley, the fear, the protection, the lies. The way he looked at me like I mattered. Like I was worth the risk. I don't know yet. But I want to find out. Summer in Boston is humid and alive. I started nursing school again. Dante paid the tuition without asking. I still worked part-time at a different diner, because I needed something of my own. Ruby tried to contact me twice. I never responded. Some betrayals don't get second chances. Bailey visited once, met Dante, and pulled me aside. He's dangerous, Isla. I know. And you're staying anyway. I'm staying because I choose to. Not because I'm scared or trapped, but because I want this. She didn't understand. How could she? She'd never been where I'd been. Dante and I fell into a rhythm. He still did his work, I didn't ask details. I focused on school, on building a future. We cooked together, argued about movies, made love like we were trying to prove something to ourselves. One night, he gave me a key. Not to the penthouse, I already had that. To a safety deposit box. What's in it? I asked. New identity. Passport. Birth certificate. Bank account. $100,000 in cash. If anything ever happens to me, if you ever need to run, everything you need is there. Why are you telling me this? Because I love you. And love means giving you the choice to leave. I kissed him. I'm not leaving. Not today. But someday you might need to. And I want you to be ready. 1 year after the alley, I finally asked him about that night. We were in bed, rain hammering the windows. Safe. Comfortable. Real. The man you killed. Who was he? Dante was quiet for a long time. An accountant. He was stealing from my employer, planning to turn informant. He had evidence that would have destroyed families, sent people to prison, collapsed an empire built over generations. So you killed him. I did my job. Do you regret it? I regret that you saw it. That it brought you into this world. But the act itself. No. He made choices. Choices have consequences. And me. Was I a consequence or a choice? He turned to face me. You were supposed to be a consequence I managed. A problem I solved. But you became the choice I made every single day since that alley. What choice? To be more than what I was born to be. You make me want to be better, Isla. Not perfect. Not clean. But better. I curled into him, listening to his heartbeat. Steady. Alive. I love you. I know. I love you too. Outside, Boston carried on. The city of my terror and my salvation. And here, in the arms of a killer who'd saved me, I finally felt like I'd found home. She witnessed a murder and fell in love with the killer who protected her. Was it Stockholm Syndrome or real love? Drop your final vote. Hit subscribe for more stories that blur the line between danger and devotion. Morals. Survival sometimes requires moral compromise. Power and protection are double-edged swords. Choice versus coercion in vulnerable situations. Loyalty has limits under threat. People are not simply good or evil.